Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Music Mindfulness. I'm Kalani Das, and this is another Sunday service. Today's theme is anger, and today's talk is dedicated to Thich Nhat Hanh, the late Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away this last week. An amazing, enlightened teacher, author, and practitioner of mindfulness, and many say the co-creator of the idea of mindfulness. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. How do we address our own anger? There's many ways we could approach that, but here I want to start off with this idea, and that is that the degree to which things anger you, or that you feel or respond with feelings of anger to things that happen in your life, are not a measure of those things that happen, but they are a measure of your residual and continuous levels of anger that you maintain within yourself. To put that another way, it's not what happens, it's how you respond to it. Do you know anybody who you think of as thin-skinned or easy to anger? You know, we've met people, or we know people that just seem to get angry very easily. And so I would maintain that people who are constantly getting angry are not constantly finding things to get angry about. They're constantly allowing the things that happen in their lives to trigger the anger that they have. And that the anger that they have, they're not only not able to process it in a way that is functional for them, but they also are keeping a lot of it. They're probably very angry all the time. And so the little things in their life are just excuses to feel it. And often it's easier to point the finger away from oneself towards something outside of ourselves, and to say, oh, that's making me angry, and he made me angry, and she made me angry, and that thing over there, that's why I'm angry, that's why I got so mad. But again, I would suggest to you the idea that it's not the thing out there that made the person angry. It was that they have a lot of anger that was ready, like a volcano, ready to erupt. And that thing was maybe what we could call the trigger, or the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like just, a balloon, and maybe that was the needle, but the needle didn't put the air inside the balloon, right? So when the balloon pops and makes a big explosion, it's not the needle that put that there. And I have found that in my own introspection, my own practice, that the more I can release my own anger, the less I get angry about things, and the more spiritual wealth I'm able to hang on to and collect and culture and cultivate. In one of his books, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, and the book was called Anger. I highly recommend it. He mentioned, he talks about the Buddha's teaching. And, for our purposes here, it doesn't matter who said what in the past, but according to Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddha labeled anger, despair, jealousy, other things like that as poisons. So think about that for yourself and check in inside. I've talked about the importance of feeling your own beingness. And so what you might do for yourself is to check in with your own feelings. How quickly are you to anger? Do you feel like you have residual anger? Because, again, it's not the new things that are happening in your life It's not the person that cuts you off on the freeway or steps ahead of you in line or calls you a name or labels you as something that's going to make you feel new anger. What they're going to do is they're going to help you, they're going to push you to experience the anger that you already have. And here's the good news. If you get rid of a lot of that anger, if you're not holding it, if you've processed it, and there's many ways to do that, music is one of them, art making is one of the ways. If you've done that work, you won't have the anger to feel. It won't be there. So you'll have a different experience of that. Maybe somebody cuts in front of you and you say, okay, obviously they needed to be there more than I did. It's more important to them. Or if somebody calls you a name or they label you somehow, they judge you, you realize that that is really about them, their own thoughts, their own beliefs, and not about you. So there's lots of ways that you can maintain an anger-free existence, but you need to do the work yourself. You need to clear out, as one friend of mine put it, you're the one that needs to remove the rocks from your own garden. No one else is going to do that for you. You've got to pull the weeds, take the rocks out yourself. But once you've done that, I think you'll find that the things that happen in life don't have the same effect. They're the same things that happen. You know, there's always going to be something that happens that you could be angry about, you could feel angry about. But whether you do or not, I think is largely of residual anger, ready to come out. Is it there? How much of it is there? And then it's also how your perspective is. Do you actually blame things outside of yourself for your own anger, or can you reframe them? Can you recycle what happens in a more productive way, in a way that's conducive to your own spiritual wealth building? And we're going to talk about that next week. Spiritual wealth is our topic for discussion. Think about that, and while I go back to making some music for you, I'd like you to think about ways that you have or that you could disperse, reduce, process some of your own anger. Not what other people should do, but what you could do or what you've done that works for you, and put it in the comments right now. And let's see if we can come up with some solutions for people who are stuck. Because the thing about anger, my friends, is that anger is one of those things that usually prevents us from coping with it or dealing with it. Because why? Because we're angry. We don't want to do it. It's easier to blame everything else outside of ourselves sometimes. Blame our family members, blame our colleagues, blame our bosses, blame the other side, whoever that is over there. Blame the other people for our own anger. But I think you'll find that if you address it in some way, and I'm not here to tell you how, only to recommend that you do it. And if you'd like to do it through music, I could probably help you. But certainly there's many ways to address your own anger. So put that in the comments if you have some good suggestion. Let's share. This is why we're here live streaming. And I do appreciate everybody showing up, saying good morning, and listening to the music. So I'm going to play a little bit more, and let's see if we can get some suggestions in the discussion area. And if you just like to use an emoji, that's fine. We like emojis too. Let's go back to making some music. want to thank you for joining me today, everybody, for this music mindfulness. Thanks for putting your comments in the chat area. I wish all of you good luck and progress in finding ways to delete and reduce your own anger, regrets, worries, whatever's not serving you. It's part of the maintenance that we do in our lives to gain spiritual wealth. It's different. It's a different kind of wealth, isn't it? One that doesn't depend on outward, performance, achievement, inner achievement, yes. So whether you go out, you make some music, you make some art, you do some exercise, somebody mentioned dance. Those are all great ways. Process it and let it go. Like leaves off a tree. Let it go. Until you feel it is unrecognizable. That doesn't belong to me anymore. Make some space for joy, laughter, the feeling of wonderment, discovery. Stay curious. Forgiveness, gratitude, empathy, understanding. Those are some things you could try too. All right, I wish you much success. Next week, we're going to be talking about spiritual wealth and how to build it and why you should build it. Check out Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Anger, and many of his other books. I think he wrote close to 150, if I'm not mistaken. But do the work yourself. You have everything you need. You don't need me or anyone else telling you anything specific. You have a life, you have a mind, you have a body. You can figure it out just like anyone else can. I'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kalani Das. If you'd like to connect with me more, you can do that at patreon.com/Kalani. Listen to the Evolve podcast on iTunes or at kalanidas.com. You can contact me through kalanimusic.com. If you'd like to learn more about all the instruments I'm using today and how I'm doing this, go to the Patreon site and join us over there. Patreon.com/Kalani. Thank you. This is a community service of Kalani Music, World Drum Club. Thanks to all of our supporters and patrons for chipping in every month and making this possible. Blessings to you wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.